Well, we're gonna try washing this old Mustang. Ended up getting it out of the barn, bringing it up to the house where the hose is, and just sprayed it off, knocking off all that dust. Let's see if we can make it look a little whiter. This is the before. And we'll see what it looks like here in a few minutes. Going with the old McGuire's. Can't go wrong with their products. Let's see here. See what kind of difference we can make. I can see it's already turning a few shades whiter. Look at that. You see the difference? How about this roof? Pretty big difference, I must say. I'll be back. Well, one thing I'm noticing for sure is that the cleaner this thing is, the more rock chips and I don't even know if you would call it chips, but like almost like a rock spray on the bottoms of the doors. This was a highway patrol car, so you have to assume it spent a lot of its life running down the interstate highways. So I would think whatever grit, and it's got these mud flaps on the back of each wheel. You see there? I don't know if they added those things after it already got some rock damage, but it's got major sandblasting or rock blasting on the bottoms of the doors there. Well, if nothing else, the glass is clean. Even though it's cracked, I can see out of the windows, and you know, maybe it's another shade or two brighter. It feels good to be able to at least wash it because it was pretty nasty with the barn dirt all over it. I'm gonna do this side still, but I'll come on back when we get this side knocked out. All right, done with the quick wash. Not gonna mess with the tires because they're dirty and they're bald, so there's no point in trying to clean those guys. Little sun glare probably looks way better wet than it does in person with it dry. So if you guys watched my first video when I debuted this thing and kind of talked about it from the get-go, one of the things I was talking about was that it's a former police car, and being a former police car kind of, you know, makes it, to some people, unique. I'm going to point out some of the flaws because I'm going to probably put this car up for sale soon. Got something else under this cover that's bigger and better, and it's going to take more money and more time. So you can only have so many project cars. And now that this one runs and drives, needs a fender. It had a blowout on this front tire, and when it did, the tire started to unwind and beat that fender. I have not tried to straighten it out. I don't think it's worth trying, but it needs it. The front bumper cover is down to the whatever that material is. It's supposed to be black on that side, it's not. So need some attention there. This side's pretty good. Got a little bit of a gremlin there on the edge of that door. We got these, I guess, remnants of the lights that were on there, those spotlights that the cars had on them. So I don't know what that plug is in there. We got the remnants on the roof. You know, this is just, let me try to get a little closer there. This is just like they sprayed some paint, some white paint over this hole, whatever that substance is that filled the hole for the light bar. So on both sides of the roof, you've got a hole, and that hole is plugged. Well, like on the trunk, for example, there was a hole, but they put a nice little plastic cap there for what would have been the CB antenna or whatever the antenna was that the cops used. These door leading edges of the quarters on both sides have been sandblasted by rocks kicking up, and they're rusty. I mean, it's not like cancer rust. Same thing here. I mean, that's just you know, the paint's worn off and now it's rusting. But again, it's not a hole or anything. It just needs attention. There's the other side of that pillar. So both pillars have the remnants of the light that protruded through there. This fender's got some kind of mark of some sort. So the car's not perfect, obviously. And again, that fender's already damaged, so I would be looking to put a fender on it. And it's got a cracked windshield. I just got a price today, which was a little on the high side for what I thought it would be, but it's a shaded windshield, kind of a cool color shading. It's like a bronze. So I mean, not a lot of, like, you know, I think the bright side is you can see what, you know, there's nothing hidden. What there is what there is. It's not like somebody restored the car and hit a bunch of body work and crash damage and then, you know, painted it. So when you show up to buy it, it's cherry. This car's raw. It's not done up. It's not been anything. I mean, it just got washed for probably the first time since 2012 or so. Let's take this car for a ride. Let's see if we can do this. The sun is right in our eyes. Let's see, roll down this window. Slow, but it goes. Slow. All right, let's see if we can get out of this sun glare. Sounds like it's got a little brake drag going on, coming from the rears. The tires on the front are bald, and in addition to being bald, they're low on air, so the steering wheel's slightly off because of that. It's all here. I haven't put everything away yet. You know, it's Tuesday. I just got the car running on Sunday, but I've taken it for several trips around the block. Had good oil pressure. Temperature's not coming up yet because it's still early. I think this will be a good car for someone that's just looking for something that's not run-of-the-mill. It's a coupe, it's a 5.0, it's a 5-speed. So that in itself is cool, and then of course it's got the pedigree of being a police car with documentation. So that's also cool. And you know, you can enjoy the car just the way it is. I mean, or you can pick and choose what you want to work on to make it better. There's nothing that it has to have. But if you wanted to add, you know, air conditioning back on, that should be no problem. The infrastructure's still there for it. Someone just removed the compressor and the lines. And say you wanted to mess around with the fender or do some paint work here and there, you can do that. You don't have to. I mean, the cool factor of this car is that you don't have to do anything to just be able to get in it and go. It's got plenty of giddy up. I can't run it hard in the neighborhood. Neighbors won't like that too much, but it's got plenty of power. It's tight through the gears. Clutch is a little low, like to the floor. The pedal pickup, like it engages real close to the bottom. I don't know. I read up. It's supposed to be some adjustments on the quadrant for that. Clutch is strong though. I mean, it's a good feeling clutch. But if I knew how to mess with it, I'd adjust it so it lets out a little higher instead of down close to the carpet. Plenty of power. Everything's working as far as gauges. Even the horn's working. The wipers aren't on it, so I can't demonstrate those. I've got them somewhere. The factory water gauge, temp gauge, is not working. This one here is the upgraded one. I'm sure the sending unit is unplugged. As a matter of fact, I know it is. I saw it while I've been farting around with the no spark issue. I saw the sender and there's nothing plugged into it. But you know, all the lights work, signals work, horn works. We have to presume the wipers work. It's even got a stereo, even though I don't know how to turn it on yet. I pressed some buttons, nothing lit up, but I'm sure it works. And if it doesn't, it's a stereo. It's easy enough to fix. The interior's decent. It's dirty, you know, but that's why you buy a car like this. You put your sweat into it, you know, make it look a little better. Make it your own with cleaning and polishing. All your HVAC controls actually still work. We tested the heater out on the maiden voyage in the dark the other night. It blows. The blower fan operates on the floor, the mix, the defrost, the vent, and all through the selections. You know, and all the speeds are still working, which, you know, it's the little things like that work that you don't have to contend with. Some of the older cars, as you guys may well know, you know, that the basics just don't work anymore. You know, things like the lights, the horn, the wipers, the defroster, the heater. Some of these cars just don't have those basics. Plenty. She's got plenty. It does have a couple mods done to the car. Long tube headers and flow masters. I don't even know if there's still cats on it or not. There may be, or they may not be. I haven't looked. It's got some sort of spacer on the, I guess it's the intake to raise it up and give it some more plenum volume or something. And in the glove box, there's some instructions for a AC delete kit that someone was selling. So you get rid of the compressor, and it's got like a down drive pulley. The compressor comes off, you change out the crank pulley, you put a different belt on it, and you put an idler where the compressor used to sit. Again, this steering wheel is only off center because the front tire is almost flat. It really doesn't pull or anything beyond what you'd expect from the low tire pressure. So, cars together, for the most part, there's a little buttoning up to do that's little piddly stuff. There's going to be nothing else that I'm going to do to it. I've got a really technical project that has been waiting for me to get to, and that's going to be a Coyote Swap Gen 3 project that's under that car cover. And I need money, and I need time. And now that this car is not a paperweight, and you can drive it, and you can roll it on your trailer, and you can test drive it, you can hear it run, it's got clean title, it's got, you know, everything you'd want. Whereas before, you know, it didn't run, didn't drive, and, you know, no one's going to give me any money for a car that they can't verify. So if you're interested in the car, I don't have a number yet as far as money, but it'll be decently priced. I'm not gonna be unrealistic. It's not gonna be like, I'm not giving it away, but it's gonna be, whoever buys the car, somebody's gonna buy it. I think they're going to enjoy the car as is. I think you're going to go down the rabbit hole if you try to fix every little thing. I feel like leaving things like this and being able to say, hey, that's from a light bar, or leaving that trunk plug, a couple bugs, leaving the mud flaps on it, you know, keeping the stock wheels. I think those are the kinds of things that just add to it. Now I backed out of the barn and backed right into my freaking four-wheeler tonight because the sun was like this on the dirty glass, and I didn't see it and backed right into the damn thing. So I need a tail light now. If anybody's got a LX tail light, let me know. I need one. That'll be fixed before it goes anywhere. But I feel like a weekend of really deep cleaning, car's complete. Oh, and the headliner is probably the worst part of the interior. That's not going to clean up. It's sagging. But, you know, there's no cracks in the dash. There's no foam showing in the seats. There are some cigarette burns over there, which I know there's a solution for those things. But the seats are very comfortable. The carpets are nice. They've got floor mats, and under the mats, it's super clean. You know, everything's presentable. But I mean, a weekend of doing stuff like refinishing the mirrors, you know, doing the trim. You know, there's plenty of videos out there on restoring quarter glasses. These are perfectly within the restoration variable. They're not beyond. You know, they're not like screaming, I need to be restored, but they could benefit from it. You know, little stuff like that. Doing the quarter glasses, just doing the trim. Like this is supposed to be black, and it's not. It's just faded. But I mean, doing that on a weekend, replacing belt moldings, you know, simple weekend jobs. This little drip molding here, simple. You know, painting the windshield and back glass trims, cowl vent trim, painting. Just the little small touches would just, everything you would do would bring it a little notch up. You know, the front tires are shot. The rears, as I stated in my last video, they're like new. I didn't check the date codes, but there's no visible dry rot. They are Firestones. Fuel Fighter 215/60 15s. I'll go online tonight and see if they still make these things. If they do, I'll pick up 2 for the front. Because I'm telling you, with these skins on the front replaced, with everything running the right pressure, I feel like the car would drive really good. Also note, there's no cooling fans on this car currently. Hooked up at least. It's got an electric fan. And it's just, the wires aren't connected to anything. I did touch them to the battery and it does come on. But it needs some sort of switch or thermostat or something to make it beneficial. So right now I got a couple calls out for hey Bella, I got a couple calls out for the factory fan shroud, fan blade, and just put this thing back the way it's supposed to be. There's no benefit from running electric fans. It's not a race car. It doesn't need electric fans. It needs the mechanical fan. Doesn't rob on a stock car. It doesn't rob anything, in my opinion. So yeah, you hit it with a little wax, you'd probably shine up some. It's got some shine to it, actually. But I'm gonna post this video. You can get a hold of me through the comment section. If you're interested in this car, just send me a comment. I'm in Virginia. You'll need to be able to make arrangements to come get it, drive it, and get it out of here. I'm not shipping it or doing anything crazy. Cash money. And I'm not gonna give it away, but it'll be a really good price, I feel, for what it is. So, and obviously I'm showing some highlights that I feel are important. Anyone needs anything in addition to what I'm showing, happy to come out and take a photo or FaceTime someone or take another video. I don't want to overdo the car being nicer than what it is, but it's pretty raw. There's nothing that's been done to hide anything. It is what it is, as they say. It's not perfect. If it was perfect, I wouldn't own it because I wouldn't be able to afford it. So, beautiful day here today. I mean, it's just perfect. Spring weather. It feels good to be able to get this thing out, blow the dust and debris off of it. And now I'm going to take a couple pictures. I'll upload this video. And I'm looking forward to some comments from you guys about it. Take care.